The NFL's first London fixture of the 2019 season kicks off on Sunday when the Chicago Bears take on the Oakland Raiders. It'll be the first American football game played at Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, which entered into an agreement with the NFL to host at least 2 games per season for the next 10 years. But the NFL eyes a much bigger international expansion. So could we see America's game in more international locations? And if so, how would that work? First, let's take a look back at how the UK game came to be. The first London game kicked off at Wembley Stadium in 2007. In 2013, the league expanded that to 2 games and then 3 games a year later. In 2017, England hosted 4 games for the first time ever. The current plan will feature 4 games in the UK, split between Tottenham and Wembley, with 1 game in Mexico City. The Jacksonville Jaguars are the quote-unquote home team for games played at Wembley, having agreed to move 1 home game there for the past 7 seasons. Since 2007, every team, with the exception of the Green Bay Packers, has played a game in England. The NFL's deal with Tottenham centered around the club's new building being constructed with the NFL in mind, including featuring a football field underneath the soccer pitch. Also, the popularity of the sport is rising in the UK, with the BBC debuting NFL-specific programming as whispers of a London franchise continue to bubble. In fact, the Red Zone channel's audience has doubled in Great Britain over the last year. Teams have fully bought into playing internationally. NFL's Chief Strategy and Growth Officer Chris Halpin told Peter King, the next generation of players want to be global athletes. And apparently the NFL wants to be a global sport. Halpin also told King that games in China, Australia, and Germany could be in the cards. If games were to be played in China, viewership could be an issue. It's a 12-hour time difference between New York and Beijing, meaning a game would have to start at 9:30 p.m. locally in China to air at 9:30 a.m. in New York. The time difference between New York and Sydney is about 10 hours, making that transition slightly more palatable. And according to King, the NFL is also looking at Germany, where there's just a 6-hour time difference between New York and either Berlin or Munich. Eventually, there's going to be a franchise here. BBC host and former NFLer Osi Umenyiora said of London last year, they've done entirely too much work here for there not to be a franchise in London. We'll see if that comes to fruition, but the NFL is looking for a much bigger international footprint, and that's how it would work.